Join us for one of the most exciting days so far in our journey with our new boat. We are actually hauling out for the first time. It's a scary thought, but it must be done. Hi, I am Anne-Lill and this is Dean. We are from Sydney. We are sailing our Bali 4.6 and sharing our journey with you right here. What an absolutely gorgeous day in La Rochelle. We are taking the boat out for a short trip because we are hauling out today. We're going in there, into the old port in La Rochelle, and that's where the haul out is. So hopefully I will be able to film a little bit of what's going to happen when we get to the locks, because the port is actually behind the lock and the bridge. And we had to be there about 2:30 in the afternoon and then wait for the locks to open at 3 o'clock, all due to the tide that's here. We are now in the queue, waiting for the locks to open and of course the bridge to lift so we can get into the old port.
If you look in the distance, you can see the footbridge opening up. Underneath that footbridge is a lock. The old town port is designed to basically hold back the water during low tide. So the lock will open an hour or two before the high water mark and will close an hour or two after it. So you've only got about an hour or so where it's open to actually get in to the old town port. So you ring up VHF the lock operator and he'll open the gate. Here we go, going through. It's quite narrow. A lot of other boats were already in the marina there as we made our way through. You can see now we've just gone through the lock and the footbridge. To get into the next stage where the haul out is, there's actually another footbridge, so we all wait patiently for the bridge and lock operator.
Second bridge opening. We're going to go through past the big white ship, and then the crane in the background is where we're going for a haul out. Finally ready to go through the last of the two gates. So this dock or area here in La Rochelle, they only open on high tide because they keep the water inside the marina. Even though there's tides outside, there will be no tides inside. Then of course, when we're going to go out again in a few days, we have to repeat the whole procedure. We can only go out on high tide.
This guy on the cat's just going to stop right there. Seriously.
He's going to go in there. Well, he stopped.
He's parking.
No, him. The mono.
Mono.
As you can see, there's a few boats deep here. I think they're pretty full at the moment. Yep. So up there, you can see where we are going. There's a thumping big crane there, which hasn't been lowered yet.
It's out of the water and everything is ready. So stress is off.
When it's out of the water and no damage is done.
Exactly.
So here she is, waiting and waiting with Dean on board to get into that plane. Big train. And she is going in there just a few minutes.
This is the slightly terrifying part of the haul out. There was only a very narrow gap between those two large steel hangers of which the straps hang on to. So you drive in while those big straps are under the water. The trouble was there was quite a bit of side wind, so it was pushing us into the metal. So obviously I didn't want to scratch the boat in order to pull it out. So we gradually worked our way in, and you'll see in just a moment that the boat will actually start to be raised out of the water. Slightly terrifying as it's hanging there before the boat actually is fully lifted out. You have to hop off because it's not a very safe thing to do, to be standing on the boat while it's trundling down the road. So the boat gets lifted up quite high actually, and 15 tonne of boat is hanging there essentially off these two long straps. One strap goes under a specific spot towards the bow, and another strap at a specific spot at the stern. They're marked on the side of the boat, so the crane operator knows the right spot so that those straps will coincide with where the bulkheads are, so you don't end up breaking the boat in half, which would generally not be a good thing. The final stage of the Queen Lizzy 2's death-defying trip down the road is to be placed on the hard. What was really interesting with catamarans is the way that they actually put them on the concrete. You'd think they'd have special brackets or something to hold them, but no. The boat literally rests on those two little keels that you'll see underneath the hulls. They're called sacrificial keels. They're basically glued or attached to the main hull, and they serve two purposes. Obviously they're keel to help guide the boat through the water, but they are designed to support the entire weight of the boat on those keels. which is kind of surprising. So they just put some timber blocks on the concrete so that the underside of the keel doesn't get scratched. The underside of that sacrificial keel is probably 2 centimetres or 3 centimetres wide. The entire boat sits on those 2 sacrificial keels. They lower it down, making sure that it's roughly level so that there is even weight distribution. Lower it down onto those blocks and job's done. They do put a couple of props at each end just to stop the boat rocking to the stern or to the bow if it was particularly windy, but essentially all of the weight is held and supported on those 2 little sacrificial keels. Each keel is probably 1 metre to 2 metres long.
We have waited a few months for this. Finally, she gets her name and logo on the sides. And now it's time for the fun part. Applying prop speed on our new foldable propellers. And it has to be done twice and it has to be dry in between each layer. But it has to be done. She was also given a proper washing, polishing, before we put her back in the water. But after polishing, we also applied Permanol, which helps to keep the boat cleaner for a longer time.
After 3 or 4 days on the hard, it's time for the boat to splash again. So essentially the same process in reverse. The big crane comes along, puts the straps underneath the hull in the 2 specific spots where they're supposed to go. Gradually the boat is raised up into the air, everyone holds their breath, and then the entire crane then drives about 500 metres, I guess it was, down through the dockyard, down to the location where it then gets lowered into the water. Moves quite slowly, but people quite happily walk around it. Cars are driving around. You'll actually see in the background is the Neil factory, Neil Catamaran factory. There's a lot of boat manufacturers here in the same place in La Rochelle. It's a big yachting manufacturing city. Almost done. We gradually get lowered into the water. The Queen Lizzy now looking all nice and shiny and clean. The crane continues to lower further and further down so that those straps will actually go further and deeper into the water, and so that it's cleared the propellers, and we drive the boat out.
And there she is, back in the water where she belongs. Join us next time when we tackle the last of our boat jobs and look into more what La Rochelle can offer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy sailing and the cruising life, please like this video and subscribe to follow our journey.